Hey everybody, it's Alika Lifty, and today let's brew our Colombia La Palma Didier. This is a La Palma neighbor, Didier Burgos, or Burgos. We'll get that pronunciation guide going for you. But this is a La Palma neighbor lot, so sourced from a neighbor of La Palma in Colombia, and they are doing the harvesting, doing the processing with their immaculate team. And this was a really fun coffee. So it is a pretty light roast, and it drains pretty quickly. So in a V60 or a cone brewer like the Origami, I was getting pretty fast brew times, even at finer grind settings, but it did taste really nice. I did find it to want to be a little bit bright and a little bit delicate. So I decided to do a French press. Partially because Dakota said, well, if it's draining really fast, why don't you just do an immersion? And I said, I don't have a French press. And then I remembered that I did have this really nice Clara from Fellow. It's a thermal French press. So I've got a French press. I have a big stir stick. I'm just using the AirPress paddle. You could use a big spoon, something that's gonna give you a lot of force in the agitation. Now let's get brewing. I'm gonna brew with 35 grams of coffee, and here's the thing, I forgot to do the final math on that. So 35 times 16, we're gonna do 560 grams of water, so that's at 210 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's toss in that 35 grams of coffee, tear the scale, and let's put in all of that water, all the way up to 560. It's gonna be a little while. You're just kind of gonna watch me pour some water. And that wasn't bad. That was under 30 seconds. So now that that's all in there, I'm going to stir the top first, make sure all that floating coffee is under, and then give it a stir at the bottom. And I'm gonna finish here at 45 seconds. There we go. And I'm gonna put this cap on. I'm not going to plunge yet, I'm not ready for that, but I'm gonna let it sit. So as this kind of sets here, it's gonna start to degas, but these grounds are really coarse. I ground this on 8 on the Fellow O Gen 2, and we'll throw those grind sizes there at the end card for you. But we're gonna get another rise of grounds. So at 1.5 minutes, I'm gonna give this a gentle stir at the top to push all those grounds back underneath. But I'm keeping the lid on to help keep it a little bit more thermal, or thermally stable. Thermal itself doesn't exactly mean something. There we go, 130. Got a bit thick crust right there. Let's break apart that crust, let it sink down, and let it sit for another minute. Yeah, I did our easy V60 recipe out of the Origami, both air and ceramic. I ground that actually on 2 1/3 on the Ode. It trained in about 1 minute and 38 seconds. So really, really fast. I mean, barely after that last pour. But it's really bright, got this tart apple, got that maple syrup, but it was really delicate. And part of it is just because it didn't spend a lot of time with that coffee to be able to get more of those oils, get more of those flavors. There we go, 230. Let's give it another stir. I've got a little bit more of a crust. There we go. Now I'm gonna give it a little bit of a stir. I'm being a little gentle right there, but I wanna get a little bit more extraction out of that. There we go. And now at 330, I'll plunge and be able to serve. When the coffee drains too fast, it's still pretty good, but it is gonna be kind of tart. It's going to be very delicate in texture. Haven't had any issues with this draining too long, so we're not really gonna get that experience. If you just grind this into a powder is the only way you're gonna do that, and you're gonna get, it's gonna become really dry, like the dregs of black tea. When this coffee is balanced though, we get these nice notes of apple, maple syrup, grapefruit, and guess what? With a French press or other immersion methods, like if you're not doing any additional agitation at this stage, you can let it go for another minute, 2 minutes, and you're gonna get very minimal change. So if you're gentle with the coffee, it'll treat you right. For espresso, I couldn't get any shots longer than 18 seconds. They weren't bad, but they were just really, really bright. So be careful with that on espresso. Recommend this as a filter offering. Nice, rich French press cup. Serve and enjoy.